title of this video is not going to be really clear to you. I couldn't think of a better way to do it without filling the whole screen with a bunch of words that pretty much described what all of the message was going to be. So in short, we're going to look at a little puzzle that Jesus said. Well, he didn't, yeah, I guess he did say it. and it's going to be a loop in prophecy text. And we're going to see how that works a little bit further on, and that'll make some sense when we see that. So let's just move forward. Okay, so parables and puzzles. Um, Jesus would never say directly that he was the Messiah. Not until the very end would he admit to being the Messiah. But all along, he gave all kinds of hints about it. And so that if you were really paying attention, you could see, oh, yeah, he's saying that he's the Messiah. But it was always done in such a way that no one could ever get after him for saying that or claiming that he was the Messiah. It was always couched in terms so that you couldn't make it a conclusive statement. And so Jesus did that with parables, and he did that with other things. And one of those was a puzzle. And there's or one of those kinds of things is a puzzle. And there's an example of it from what Jesus says about the Son of David. And I'll read that here. That's from Matthew 25, verses 42 through 45. And he said, "What are you saying about the Messiah? Whose son is he?" They were saying to him, "The Son of David." He said to them, "And how did David, by the Spirit, call him the Lord Yahweh? For he said, 'The Lord Yahweh said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I place your enemies under your feet.' If therefore David called him the Lord Yahweh, how is he his son?" So it's a paradox. It seems to be something that David said that couldn't possibly be true, but there is a solution to it, and this solution is what Jesus wanted people to figure out from what he had said. Now he's speaking to the Pharisees and Sadducees and that group of people, and he expects them to have enough understanding of the Bible that they are going to be able to understand what he's saying. But they're lost. They can't figure out the puzzle, or if they do understand what he's saying, they don't want to accept it. But the solution to it is the Messiah is the Son of God, and so when you realize that that's what David is talking about there, is that the coming Messiah will be the literal Son of God, then that solves the paradox, and you can make sense out of it. And there's at least one other puzzle, and I haven't really looked for puzzles in there, but they're hard to find sometimes. This one is one of the easier ones, but there is another puzzle, and we'll look at that one now. This one is a prophetic loop, which is kind of similar to what Jesus was doing there as well. And in this one, a loop is something where you start at one place and you kind of go around a circle and you get back to where you started. And that happens here by using prophecy in this loop. So that the text describes some prophecy and it goes around and gets you back to where you started. And so it goes like this. In Matthew 24:15, Jesus quoted words from the prophet Daniel. Those words included some about the coming of a future Messiah. We know, though, that Daniel was not speaking his own words. They were given to him by an angel who would have gotten them from God. Okay? So Jesus also was not speaking his own words. So we know that both of them were speaking words, Daniel and Jesus, but they weren't their own words. They were words that were coming from God. So when we trace all these words back to their source and think about this for a little bit, we find something interesting. And that is this. When Jesus was speaking those words in Matthew, it was actually the Son of God quoting himself, where he talks about his future coming, which was then the present. Now, you're going to need some time to think about that. Take all the time you need and think about that, but it's really quite interesting when you figure it out.